I think that means we are now live. Oh my god, I'm 7 minutes early. The world is going to fucking implode on itself. Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Oh, there's a rival battle first. I kind of forgot about that. So that's going to be interesting. We're going to go do Crash Awake's gym first, because the levels are roughly similar to... I was convinced that you could do this gym first. Is that a thing that's not a thing in Platinum but is in Diamond and Pearl? Because I'm fairly sure that you can do Wake before Maylene. At least in Diamond and Pearl. The levels are roughly similar. It's way better for my type matchup. And I do just need Smooch'em random to get some experience. Because it's still level 5. Let's see if we can make this a 2-hour stream. I don't fucking know. I had a very late lunch like half an hour ago. So I probably won't get too hungry. But it's been quite a long day. So maybe it won't be... quite 2 hours long. I guess we'll just see how things end up going. There should be a little progress made. I do want to make as much progress as possible, because after this stream I'm probably not going to be playing Platinum for a while. Maybe early next week, but throughout next week the Kingdom Hearts DLC should be released, as far as I know. Which means that we will be live streaming that for like 1 or 2 streams at least. I don't know how much content is in it, but I'm assuming that within 2 streams, that's about like 3 or 4 hours, I should be able to get through most of it. But hey, maybe there's some very difficult super bosses and we're going to be stuck streaming that DLC for like 3 or 4 weeks. I have no fucking idea. So I'll be picking up Platinum after that again, probably. But I'm not entirely sure yet. Also, you know that I'm not paying enough attention to stop at 1 second before 2 hours. That would require me to pay actual attention to, like, things. Which I don't. So, I guess we need to do this gym first after all, which is kind of a bummer. So, I'm gonna take away your EXP shot. I'm gonna give it to random. Even if just... I don't know. It's probably not gonna do anything, but... I guess I need to try. Why did you get the galactic? Did you get the galactic building the city you're in? You do that after the gym, don't you? And that doesn't trigger Crash Awake, I don't think. So yeah, you definitely can't do Crash Awake before Maylene, is what we'll figure out here. Which kind of like fucks up my entire strategy. Which, I am gonna die. At least it's not a Nuzlocke anymore. At least it's not a Nuzlocke anymore. I recorded some Pokemon 3 years today. That was a Nuzlocke. This, not a Nuzlocke. So, calm the fuck down. Even if things die, they don't die forever. Which is a sentence that you... It's actually really weird to say out loud. Yeah, I mean... If you're keeping this up, I'm going to like end it at 1 hour and 1 second. That doesn't even make any goddamn sense either. Never mind, just don't pay attention to me and just tell me how I'm playing wrong. Just tell me how I can be better. Okay, you used Foresight, so that means that you can now use fighting types moves on me, which is bad. Yeah, so Yuki is just dead. No! You take it actually remarkably well, wow. As you remember, either have a HM after the building, you also get more interactions with Luca. Yeah, I don't like Luca. Just the less Luca I can have, the better it is, in my opinion. Let's go with Swordboard here. And you do get... Do you get an HM out of it? You probably do, I don't know. You don't need an HM until like Well, you need Surf after Crash Awake, actually. Do you? Yeah, you do. Yeah, because the 6th gym is a steel one. And you need Surf to get there. So... But there's like a lot of story in between that first. So I honestly don't know where you get what at this point. Why did I think Thorvald was going to be a good idea? Yeah, Psychic type, but also Fighting type against a Dark Ice. It's not a Nuzlocke. I can make mistakes. It's okay. I hate myself. Maybe Luca in Sword and Shield DLC, but honestly, I mean, at this point he's kind of like just in every game, so I'm expecting him to show up. I still like don't care about him at all because he's never brought any good content to any game ever. Maybe the post-game side quest in X and Y is somewhat decent, but that's probably the best Luca gets. And that's like not very good. Jeffrey thought he was so good. He had his own chapter to Ultra Sun and Moon. Did he? I don't remember him in Ultra Sun and Moon. I mean, he surely is in there somewhere, but I don't remember him having his own chapter. I mean, there's Team Rainbow Rocket, but Luca doesn't have anything to do with that, does he? I'm thinking very, very hard where Luca shows up in Gen 7. I might just be missing something, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back to the Pokemon Center after this battle though, that's for fucking sure. Oh, I said a swear word, so cop up. We're safe, we're safe, we're safe. I still need to make that joke. Also, I'm still on normal delay. Actually, I'm going to try this again. Now that there's people watching, I wonder what this is going to do. I'm going to switch from normal delay to ultra short delay while streaming. Apparently that is a thing you can do. I don't know how it works. And you can't change back, is the thing. So, what? It's really weird. I complained about it yesterday in the stream. I mean, if you've watched that. Sun and Moon Luca mission catch all the Ultra Beasts. All the nice Ultra Beasts. Yeah, maybe I didn't get to that because I didn't actually finish Team Rainbow Rocket. That makes a lot of sense to me now. Because Team Rainbow Rocket was just kind of boring. I know it's a little bit of fun fan service, but it's just also kind of boring. It's nice to actually like battle legendary Pokemon in a main series game though, in the post game. On an opponent's team. That's something that never fucking happens. So that was a nice thing, but it's also, here is a team leader. Here's the next team leader. Here's another team leader. Here's another team leader. Also, here's a grunt. And now on with the next team leader. Just, please don't. It just got boring after a while. There needed to be a little bit more like dynamics in it. We are now on ultra short delay. I don't know. Did you guys see like the stream skip any or something like that? Or are you just still on normal delay and if you refresh you get shorter delay or something like that? I don't know how it works. I'm assuming anybody that joins the stream now is going to have it anyway, but do you guys that were here before I changed it also have shorter delay? Because if so, there's definitely you have to like skip through a couple of seconds of content. And I don't expect YouTube to be so YouTube Live to be sophisticated enough to like speed up by like 5% for 10 minutes or something, so that it catches up that would be insane. I don't think they would do that. How does this work again? Not like that. I see. Ultra short delay. Yeah, you probably just need to refresh the page because you were here when I was normal delay. Also, I am not constantly looking at the chat, so count in like at least a couple of seconds for that as well. And you probably like have your reason why I didn't respond very quickly. But probably you just need to refresh the page in order to get the short delay. I'm assuming that's how it works. Again, I literally don't know. It's very weird to me that you can change the delay midstream. And you can't change it back either, which is potentially even weirder. Honestly, we're going to have to... Okay, or not. You know, if you don't want to fight me, I'm kind of fine with that. I don't really mind. Where's the last... I like this gym. I always get lost in this gym, but I like this gym. Just because this is actually like... The gym puzzle is actually a puzzle, and that never happens. Usually it's just... You have to do a couple of tasks, and by the end of it, your path will be clear. But here you actually need to like look around and do things in the right order and all that kind of good stuff. And it just... it's a pretty good gym puzzle. So Sun and Moon had the Ultra Beast, and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon had Rainbow Rocket, but... Well, yeah, I'm saying Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. That's what I was talking about. But I didn't do the post game for Sun and Moon either, because I just don't like Gen 7. I'm sorry. I just don't like it. This should one-shot at least. Okay, the MONOTYPE is done, and that was a critical hit. We got through that. Now, Random is going to get leveled up for no fucking reason. Okay, next up is Lucario already. Lucario. Panic. Switch Pokemon, maybe, potentially. Subpar isn't useful yet. Let's stay in with Yuki. I think you also have a Machoke. A 32! That hurts my soul! You're Steel type. Why would you ever do that against a Steel type? Logo. Why? Why would you do that? Somehow I survived that. You're gonna have speed anyway. Meanwhile, I can check the email I just got. Yeah, I kind of figured that. I fucking hate people sometimes. I'll respond to that message after I'm done streaming, but I've been asking a client to send me over the necessary materials to finish up a video that was supposed to have a deadline of Friday, so 2 days ago by now. Like, sent 3 messages in a week, and now I'm getting a response which doesn't seem to have included a download link for the extra materials, so I'm a little annoyed. Vlogger does not read the chat. Nah, why would I read the chat? Why would you ever do something like that? You guys don't show up one day, I don't read the next day. It's just that easy. Yeah, it would be easier at a different time. I feel like I'm... Also, when I look over a chat, like 50% of the time, I feel like I'm just missing half the information of the conversation. He only reads chat when he gets bored or lonely. Pretty much, yeah. Also, I'm going to die here, I think. So let's try to not be too sad. I mean, if you can keep yourself entertained, you don't need me anymore, so please don't do that. I'm kind of like banking on the fact that you guys can't entertain yourself, and you're like, that's where I come in. If you can entertain yourselves, I'm gonna be all alone again. By the way, holy crap, that mod bomb did more than I thought it would. This is going to one-shot subpar. Like, no questions about it. But at least we got... Oh, and it's Drain Punch. Oh, Lucario is going to be an issue. Lucario is going to be an issue. I don't... And even if Lucario just... If I manage to take it down, there's still Machoke. And nothing I have here is actually, like, effective against you whatsoever. Oh, yawning. Not that it matters because I wasn't going to outspeed anyway and force pull. Smoochum, you're at level 10. If you can take out this Lucario, you are a legend. You can't. But if you can, that would be great. One-winged angel battle for rival or gym fights. I'd say rival, but really neither. You need white noise for... Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. You need at least like something in your ears when you do something as mind-numbing as grinding. You're sort of entertained and watching stream with texting girlfriend every now and then. Look. Watching the stream, it's so much more important. So much more important. One-winged angel would be better for Cynthia. Fair enough, because it's the final boss. And it's not a song you really want to have play more than once. It's a very special song. But that also means that you don't want to overuse it. So, we're going back to grinding, I guess. Because there's no way I'm doing that again right away. What about the Imperial March for gyms? That is kind of terrifying. I'm thinking, what would the Imperial March actually like fit well with in Pokemon? Other than, obviously, a Team Galactic encounter. Like, a Team Galactic admin, Imperial March, or even just leader. Just Cyrus's theme as the Imperial March. That would kind of work. Look, you can't have people watching under the same account. That's theft. That's just theft. That's just... Netflix doesn't like it. I don't like it. That's just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Technically speaking, it is better for a channel if you don't do that, but what are you supposed to do? Like sit next to each other and have a device each? Obviously you're not going to do that. Also, my content is free. Netflix actually requires you to pay. So Netflix has way more of a reason not to like it when people share accounts. I mean, yeah, I can just throw my Pokemon against the gym until I win, but it's going to actually take longer because I have to do the entire puzzle every single time. And I only get to kill one Pokemon every single time, which is a Meditite. So I'm way better off grinding here, which means actually it's music time, I think. Anybody, any requests for soundtracks of video games to play during this grinding? I ask while my VLC media player obstructs the chat, so I'll be able to see in a moment. But meanwhile, I'm going to go to my desktop and go to my music folder. Yes, my music folder is on my desktop, not on actually like the thing Windows makes for it called music. There's a music one, right? Yeah, there's a music one. I don't have music in that one. I have a folder on my desktop called music, which is way more efficient. No, it's not. It doesn't really matter. It's just a folder. So yeah, let's see if there's anything, any requests here as far as like soundtracks go for grinding. Final Fantasy X soundtrack, that actually is a very good one. Kingdom Hearts music. Kingdom Hearts. The thing with Kingdom Hearts is I love every song like that game ever plays to my ears, but I play it all the time. Final Fantasy X is a little bit more rare for me to play, so I'm going to play Final Fantasy X, and it's probably very loud, so let me fix that. Doing some live troubleshooting here. Hang on for a moment. Going to mute you and shuffle you, and that means you're going to start playing Beyond the Darkness. How loud is this? Is this too loud? That seems like it might be a little bit too loud. I don't know. You guys let me know. Look, Let It Go is not a bad song, but I am very annoyed that they... Okay, that's definitely too loud. I'm very annoyed that they had like to force... It's just Disney being a bitch, right? But they forced it into Kingdom Hearts 3 so bad. And also, Do You Want to Build a Snowman? Anna even talks over the song in the cutscene because they're like, yeah, but we need the story exposition. Disney, I know you want these songs in here, but why? No, please don't do that. They kind of fucked that entire world, I feel like. I think MatPat's theory on why Frozen's world is the way it is very close to the truth. That really does seem like some corporate meddling there. The song's actually just called To Zanarkand, not Way to Zanarkand, just like out nerding you here. But yeah, I fucking love that song. I also like this one. I pretty much like most songs in most Final Fantasies, to be honest. Okay, so now there's actually people here. I talked about this yesterday when there was nobody here. When you see shallows... No, when I talk about shallows, which one comes to mind first? The pink one or the blue one? For me, it's the pink one. That seems like the default, and then the blue one seems like the variation on it. Somehow, I don't know why. Even though I like the blue and green one way more. Elsa was originally planned as the villain. Yeah, that is what I think. Or at least, like, I don't know, like, straight up villain. But there was a storyline there which was way different from what it is now. I don't think it ever got confirmed because Disney wouldn't allow that kind of information to leak out, them being bitches, because Disney really likes being difficult behind the scenes and then having the public image of being the family-friendly good guy. So Disney would not allow that information to be like confirmed at all. But it's pretty clear that that's kind of what was going on there. You never knew there was a blue Shallows, really? I'm going to blow your mind. There's a blue Gastrodon as well. And I much prefer the design of the blue and green ones. But somehow, again, the pink one just seems like the default one to me. Misguided Hero Elsa, something like that. It was a very messy thing. Just... it's my least favorite world in that game. Maybe the Keyblade Graveyard is actually, just because how fucking stupid things go. But I'm going to reserve judgment. I'm going to reserve judgment on Keyblade Graveyard until Remind is out. If Remind, like, quote-unquote fixes that, retrospectively, I am kind of okay with it. But probably still Frozen, Arendelle. Probably still just my least favorite world of that entire game. Probably one of my least favorite worlds in this series, which includes 100 Acre Wood in every version of the game ever. And that also includes Deep Jungle. And Atlantica. For fuck's sake, Atlantica. I think Frozen is worse than Atlantica. Which is really bad for Frozen, because Frozen doesn't have swimming physics. Pokemon Me versus Pokemon Contest versus Pokemon Puffins. I think, like, they're all different things now. It's the thing. Pokemon Me is weird. I don't like it. Pokemon Contests are, like, not related to them whatsoever. And Puffins are the things you use to do, like, to increase the stats on your Pokemon for the contest. So, I kind of like the Puffins. Or the Pokeblocks creation in Gen 3, the timing mini game. I hate it in Gen 4. The thing where you have to like swirl the Puffin around in the like the pan or the cauldron or whatever the fuck it is. I hate that. I absolutely hate it. And then you have to reverse it as well, and it's just bad. But I like them in Gen 3, the thing where you have to time your button press, and you can even do it over multiplayer. I like that. That's a good thing. It's kind of fucked that people can fuck up your Pokeblocks, but that's what you get with multiplayer. So I think this is just where we evolve, right? Level 15? With the Smoochum? No, it is actually not. Can somebody tell me when Smoochum evolves? Because I don't think it's a happiness evolution. Is it level 20? Must be level 20. Likely that Kingdom Hearts, the story so far, will come out on Switch. About 0? If it would happen, it would have happened by now. I imagine. I don't like this song. Let's skip this song. Twilight. Twilight sounds like a good song. Smoochum level 30! I mean, we're going to have to be a high level anyway, right? Because level 32 Lucario we have to face. Magorobi didn't have a mandatory... I mean, I don't mind having one mandatory contest in there just to let people actually play it, and maybe some people find it very fun and wouldn't have played it otherwise, right? I'm very much more of a not fan. What is the opposite of a fan? A hater of all of the goddamn cutscenes in that game. Because while I initially enjoyed Pokemon becoming more cinematic, it also means that it's way less replayable. And that kind of annoys me a lot. But the thing is, why would they do the story so far on Switch? Because there's no way in hell that Kingdom Hearts 3 is running on Switch. And you're not putting the story so far on a console if you're not going to put 3 on it as well. And while the Switch is a very good machine, it's powerful for what it is, it's not going to run Kingdom Hearts 3. I very much doubt it would run Kingdom Hearts 3. Unless Nintendo personally comes in and optimizes the shit out of it. Because obviously, Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey both looked amazing. And I wouldn't say Kingdom Hearts 3 necessarily looks better than them. But you've got to realize those are also first-party titles and probably the most optimized the Switch would ever get at all. So having a third-party developer develop for a platform which Xbox and PlayStation these days are fairly similar to develop for, as far as I understand. Switch is still kind of a pain. At least Nintendo has opened the doors to indie developers, which is a great thing because the Switch has a lot of good indie titles on it. Well, in Gen 3 and then 4, it only can evolve with the beauty stat, which actually, I kind of like that. I kind of like unique evolutions. I really don't like friendship evolutions, but those kind of unique evolutions, same with Malamar, right? You have to hold your DS upside down in order for it to evolve. I like that. I like that idea. Beyond a certain level, that is. Same with Feebas and the beauty stat. I kind of liked the idea of having a Pokemon that is like has a very unique way to evolve. And I don't want every Pokemon to have a unique way to evolve. Most Pokemon should just evolve through level up or maybe stone. But having your odd Pokemon that has a very unique way to evolve, like Burmy for instance, doesn't have a unique way to evolve, but Burmy first and foremost evolves either in Mothim or into Wormadam. But if it's evolving into a Wormadam, I say that's funny, Wormadam. Wormadam. It keeps the typing of the type of Burmy it was at the time of evolution. Which makes it very interesting where you want to evolve your Pokemon. It's a very interesting and fun concept. I really do enjoy that. I mean, the dumbest way for a Pokemon to evolve, is that the way I like the least, or is that the way I think just is the dumbest? Because the way I like the least is definitely friendship. I don't like friendship. I like the idea of a friendship evolution. It's just, there's no good Pokemon that evolves into a better Pokemon through friendship. The only thing that happens ever is a bad Pokemon evolving into a mediocre Pokemon through friendship. Or a bad Pokemon evolving into a pretty decent one with Lucario. But that's the only friendship evolution that, like, is worth it. Then what other, like, weird evolution methods do we have? Oh, I don't like the... Well, I actually do like it. I don't know if I like it. The trade evolution for Excavalier and Exceligor, I think they're called. Where you have to trade evolve them. Trade evolutions are actually worse than happiness ones. No, change my mind. Trade evolutions, very bad. Don't like them. But the one where you have to trade 2 specific Pokemon for them to evolve, both, I actually kind of like that one. But Kadabra into Alakazam through trade, that kind of thing, Machamp, Gengar, I don't like those. I really don't like those. Oh yeah, this is a good song. Flora, I think that's wrong with the current Pokemon evolutions. Unique evolutions are fine to be honest, but item specific need to share items more. I kind of get that, because otherwise you're going to have like 2 billion items to evolve just one Pokemon with. I kind of get that, but at the same time that does make them less unique. So I get why they don't do that, but I also get why you say that that would be better. I'm kind of impartial on that one. Either way kind of works for me. Thank God they got rid of it in Sword and Shield. Did they though, or did they just get rid of the Pokemon that evolved that way? I feel like they just got rid of the Pokemon that evolved through like difficult ways. Which probably some of those are going to get added back with the expansions, I imagine. At least a couple. We don't need Pound. We don't need Pound. Oh, in Sword and Shield you can catch them fully evolved. That also kind of works. But you still need evolution methods if you're like breeding and stuff. And yeah, I know that trade evolutions are the core idea of Pokemon. That's why there are 2 Pokemon games, because you need to connect with people. I get that for completing the decks. For evolving a Pokemon, having a Pokemon be stuck as being mediocre and not being able to grow good unless you trade it, that is where I get issues. That just doesn't seem like good design to me. That seems like good marketing. I'll give you that. So Wild Machamp, Gengar, Conkeldurr. I've seen the Wild Conkeldurr, yeah. The other ones not so much. I've not watched that much Sword and Shield because, frankly, I just don't enjoy the game too much. I haven't played it, first and foremost. My opinion is solely based on, like, watching 2 Let's Plays. Kind of. And a couple of reviews. But it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like a very great game to me. And I know that's kind of like punching down because that seems to be the general opinion on the game, that it's just not that great. That's also not that great that happened. But yeah, that's have you heard this song of the Gym Leaders in Sword and Shield or not? It's a good song. I have. Don't remember it that well. Isn't it just like the normal Gym Leader song but slightly different? Like they've been doing for the past 20 some years? It didn't register with me. But then again, Pokemon music, like Gen 6 and on, just doesn't register with me. Gen 4 and 5 music, 3 to some extent, remember a lot of that. Probably because I played a lot of that. I didn't actually play that much Gen 5, still in Master City. Great music. Did you hear the evolution method for Glorian Yamask? That's quite... Okay, yeah. Maybe it's a little bit too much. Because that's ridiculously specific. But still, I kind of like the idea that it does that. The only thing that I don't like about it is that it doesn't evolve into Griga's thingy, Meduiki, whatever you like to pronounce it as. When you don't do that. It doesn't... It should be like a secret evolution that if you know that that's a thing, and with the internet everybody's going to know that that's a thing, you can do that instead of evolving it into its normal evolution. I also kind of feel that way with like Persian and Berserker, to be honest. I like the idea that Galarian Meowth has a different evolution from normal or even Alolan Meowth. And I also really want just this Meowth needs to get a different variation for every region we go to from now on. They've set that precedent. There's 3 Meowths now. They need to make a new Meowth every single time. It's just they're stuck with that. But I do like the idea of adding new evolutions to old Pokemon. I mean, this game did it as well. I mean, this generation I'm playing right now with Glade. Sword and Shield felt okay, but watered down. I mean, I've heard people say Sword and Shield is a really good 3DS game. And while I think that is a little bit too much, because it's definitely a step up from a 3DS game, it's just, it's not very good for Switch. There's like way too many issues with it. And I've talked about this for like plenty of time, but I'm going to keep talking about it a little bit more. I don't necessarily blame Game Freak. To a certain extent I do, because Game Freak hasn't really had much trouble with optimization when they did 2D, like just sprite work, like the game we're playing now, right? As a matter of fact, they pushed the limits of the original Nintendo DS with Black and White and Black and White 2. Having the like constantly animated Hymn of the Faith, nice. Constantly animated sprites, that was something that was inconceivable on the DS, and they managed to do it. Then when they moved to 3DS, things got fucking messy in the programming. They should have just hired a couple of people which had experience or expertise, I should say, actually, in 3D modeling and programming around that. It seems like they didn't do that, or they didn't do enough of that. Part of that might be just because they get a budget from the Pokemon Company and they're kind of stuck with that. And they probably just didn't get the budget increase they needed when moving into the third dimension. And the same goes for a Switch game, right? Compared to a 3DS game. It just takes a bigger budget to produce a game like that. I'm just feeling like the Pokemon Company probably just didn't give them a big enough budget to work with. So I don't blame Game Freak. Still, the games are a bit of a letdown. I think we can all more or less agree on that, right? Also, this sounds fairly loud, so I'm going to take it down a notch again. Let's bite. That being said, I don't know, all that was still about the Pokemon music. We're not talking about it anymore. Once you get the final Pokemon, the crowd starts chanting with the music. Isn't that just like when you Dynamax though? I feel like that's just when you Dynamax. Maybe because they always Dynamax with their last Pokemon. That makes a lot of sense. That I'm mixing that up. Look, you like the alchemy evolution method spin? Yeah, I like that one as well. The whipped cream one, I like that one as well. It's very nice, but also the way you do the spinning impacts things about the evolution, which could potentially be an issue if you like doing things for like competitive builds. But I don't think it's a competitively viable Pokemon as it is, so it doesn't really matter. But that is one of those unique evolution methods that I'm like, yeah, why haven't we done that before? We've had a stick on the 3DS for like 2 generations before this. That could have been a thing. The 3DS stick is like, I don't want to say it's like full 360 degrees, but I think it is. I've already taken out all the trainers on the route before that gym, I think. And the Pokemon in here should be roughly the same level as those trainers anyway. And these are unlimited. But I do have the Versus Seeker, so I probably should be using that a little bit more. You have a good point there. I mean, nothing is going to be as bad as the Ultra Wormholes. The Den explorations are just going to be the same, I guess, as the Dens in the wild area, which is just you go up to it and you have a raid battle. The Ultra Wormholes were just horrible. Actually, like trash. 64 forms. Yeah, exactly. That's like a little bit overkill, maybe. Can I Versus Seeker anybody around here? I can do. Whoa, that's very quick. I can Versus Seeker you both, probably. Or neither of you, that also works. Well, 1 is hidden, so currently 63 available. How is 1 hidden? Is it just like not patched into the game yet? An option to get it? Or is it like a special event version which you can't usually get and they're going to distribute over Wi-Fi? Let's see, if you time this right, you can get the Versus Seeker on all 3 at the same time. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We're rebattling you. Have you been paying attention to the chat? It's I just know the super short delay on my side takes like 2 or so minutes for you to respond. Yeah, no, I'm probably just late with responding. It's probably not actually a very long delay. Because I'm also like giving answers that are very much longer than the time it takes you guys to ask more questions. So I am like kind of skipping over some things and things are taking a while. Nothing beats all the Spinda forms. Well, yeah, but that's not an evolution. There's like, what, like 2.3 billion versions of a Spinda? And that's excluding the shiny versions of all of those forms? Yeah, no, don't think I'll be doing anything like that anytime soon. Keep old moves. Give up a mean look. Thank you. I think we're a high enough level to take on the gym again at this point, right? Actually, now I think about it, probably are. Let's go give it a shot. Where were we? No Pokemon will create a model for each specific spinner. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Though I do wonder how they did that in the original, or even in... I mean, there's not 3 billion textures in the game, right? So those textures are probably generated based on a seed, I imagine, for the models for Spinda. Something like that. Oh, we have to do the entire fucking puzzle again. I'm going to speed through the gym puzzle as well, and then we're going to go back to Game Sound for a little bit. Yeah, probably an event Pokemon for the hidden dude thing. I don't know how to pronounce it. That makes sense. Especially if it's a Pokemon with a lot of forms. It makes sense that there's an event. I mean, Vivillon had an event as well, right? The Pokeball Wing one. It was for... Wasn't that for like 1 million Wonder Trades or something back in the day? The Pokeball one? That one must be like exceptionally rare by now, right? Because... Can you please look the other way? I don't want to fight you. Thank you. Because there were only so many of those given out, and they're never going to get them given out again. And a lot of those probably like were on cartridges that got broken over time, or didn't get saved when a game was restarted or something like that. So, and the people that do have them probably don't want to trade them because they're probably fairly rare. So it's going to be very hard to get your hands on a Pokeball Pavilion if you want to get one in 2020, I imagine. Especially since it's probably not even in Gen 8 to begin with. No new items for Galarian, Slowbro, Slowking. I can't imagine that there's a new evolution item just for the Galarian form. It's probably still just King's Rock. Which actually is a very good question, because when I get to Gen 2 through the years, I'm going to be able to use the Slowpoke, which I got as a Slowbro, to eventually get a Slowking. But that's usually a trade evolution. How do trade evolutions with items work in randomizers when you turn off trade evolutions? Do you just level them up holding the item? Didn't see that coming. We probably should go back to normal music here. There we go. I'll probably outspeed you. Flo, why do you not make your Pokeballs have stickers? You know you love stickers. I don't think you can yet at this point in the game, can you? I think you need to get to Sunyshore City for that. As far as I know. Also, what the fuck happened there? I just didn't take you out and then Drain Punch. I hate Drain Punch. Give it the item holding and evolve it. Level and... Wait a second. I don't understand. I don't understand the grammar to this sentence. Let me focus on that a little bit better. Give it the item holding the item. Give the item holding the item. What? I don't... You're crashing my brain mid-gym. This is not a good thing. So what you're saying is just give it an item and it will evolve the next level. I think that's what you're saying. But I can't be sure. Slowking is Waterstone in randomizers. Oh, that makes a lot more sense, actually. That makes a lot more sense. That makes a shit ton more sense. Because I was thinking there's probably no like pre-existing programming in the game that allows you to level up holding a King's Rock. So I was like, is it going to be possible? But they just apply the thing from the Waterstone to it. That makes a lot more sense now, yeah. You need to grind more vlogger. Yeah, I definitely do. I wanted to give it a shot, but there's no way that... Yeah, this is just gonna kill me. It's resisted, but it's also a baby Pokemon, so fuck me. So we're gonna be grinding a little bit more, it seems like. Because there's nothing I can do. And we're only an hour in, so we've got plenty of time. Let's speed through this because I'm gonna lose anyway. Fuck, water gun, I don't know. At least you can't Drain Punch Yuki. Yet. You can Metal Claw me though, which is also a move that you can use. Wait, I was doing fairly well against him there. Purely like by accident, but doing fairly well nonetheless. So we're going back to the music. Fight a galactic building. Like I was saying, you avoided the last trainer in the gym. Oh, I avoided the last trainer in the gym. Yeah, but you can't really grind against one trainer. And I didn't want to fight him because he was going to... I mean, he takes quite a while to get to. And then he's only one trainer and he's still going to damage. But my Pokemon before Maylene, which I don't want. But yeah, you're entirely right. That... Oh no, I can't do the galactic thing until I beat the gym. Yeah, no, fuck that. Okay, so we are going... to do some other stuff. I don't know what. Back to question hour. All the experience for the taken. It's just one trainer. What action RPGs have I played? Let me think about that one for a moment. Well, the entire Kingdom Hearts series for one. What do you classify as an action RPG is the question. I definitely do want to go get Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I would classify that as an action RPG, but I don't have the money to do so, and I think I will enjoy Remind more, so I'll get that, and sometime down the line when I have money and there is a sale, I'll go get Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That's definitely an action RPG and not a fighting game, by the way, before anybody says it's a fighting game. It's not a fighting game. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, that's a fighting game. Just do the Mars route left of Pastoria City. I mean, I could. I probably should. That's actually not a bad idea. There's Pokemon a higher level than the Pokemon here anyway. Yeah, I'm probably going to do that. Is Random actually going to kill... It actually killed something. Wow. Action game with RPG elements. So, DBZ Kakarot I can. Well, I haven't played it, obviously, but I really want to play it. It looks like a very fun game. And that is... It's been a while since there's been actually, like, good Dragon Ball game. Because... I'm not a very, like, big guy on fighting games, right? So, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, while I can recognize it as being a good game, isn't for me. And then there were Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and 2, which are both just not good. 2 is a lot better than 1. 1 is actually, like, trash. 2 is a lot better, but still not a very good game. I'd count that as action RPGs as well, because those games are more RPG than action, to be honest. Those games are more about you having the good numbers rather than you actually, like, doing well. Whereas in Kingdom Hearts, for instance, it's possible to do a level 1 run. I don't think that would even be possible, or, like, not likely anyway, to do in Dragon Ball Xenoverse. That's just... just not very good games, I'm sorry. Let's switch out here into somebody that can take one hit from a rollout, which is about nobody, because everybody is an ice type. I mean, I really kind of don't want to play Uno on stream, because I'll fucking rage my ass off. Did you ever play Summer Nights Swordcraft story? I didn't. I did start with Tales of Zestiria a while ago. I didn't complete it because I started with a while ago, like last year. I started that during my summer vacation, and the summer vacation lasted less long than the game, so I kind of didn't finish playing it. But it was a fun game. It was definitely a fun game. I also got lost like for an hour within the first 5 hours of the game, so that didn't help. But the Tales series, apparently very fun games. I also started playing another one of the Tales games. I enjoyed that one significantly less. I don't remember which one it was. And then I also, another game I started playing a lot of games, and then especially the thing with a lot of RPGs, and especially JRPGs, or action RPGs as well, action JRPGs especially, it's very long, and I often just like start them and then lose interest, even though I know that what happens later is very good. And I've gotten into a position where I've gotten so used to games having voice acting that if I have to read the story of a game myself, and it's like a 30-hour game, I just can't get myself to actually do it. Which is very, very annoying. Because I know they're good games. Which Tales game? Tales game, Zestiria. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's not a very good PC port. I'll say that much. This is why I hate the March route. I always avoid it when going back to Hearthstone City because I fucking hate this. What about MapleStory from like 2013 or maybe earlier? I forgot. I guess MapleStory would count. I mean, even though it's a MMO, I know there's a non-MMO version, but let's be honest, like 2 people on Earth played that. I didn't, like, I played that, quote unquote played that, as in I had it installed on my PC and I did push buttons and my character did do things. But I never really played it that much. I was more of a RuneScape kind of guy, and kind of still am. I played a bit of RuneScape for a couple of months, like halfway through 2019. I had a subscription for a couple of months there. Still a fun game. I really like RuneScape, especially since there's a lot of like RuneScape 3 has a lot of AFK options for like grinding skills and stuff. And fuck you. And I like being able to have RuneScape open in like one screen while doing something else entirely on the other screen, and just every now and then clicking on something and just collecting loot and that kind of stuff. Mining, for instance, great skill. You can just mine away for like half an hour before you have to go to the bank in RuneScape 3 now, which is fucking amazing. Let's go into Soul Ball. Uno versus Monopoly. What causes more rage? Frankly, Uno. Because Monopoly, while also still being heavily RNG based, has a certain amount of strategy in it as well. Uno is just, you need to get lucky to be able to play the card that you want to play. It's so fucked. And both are very RNG based games, I'm aware, but I don't know. I actually froze an opponent again. Zestiria, that game is hefty. Playing the prequel at the moment. Uno versus Monopoly versus Dokapon Kingdom? I don't even know that last one. What the fuck is that? That sounds Japanese. It probably is. Language. I mean, I'm trying to keep copper away, that's all. What did I say? What did I say? What horrible thing did I say? I don't think about the things I say half the time, or sometimes something slips out that I just really shouldn't say. And it's worse when I don't know what it is. I try to keep myself back a little bit on video. If you ever like meet me in real life for like longer than a couple of hours, I swear quite a lot. But I think having the whole thing against swearing, people that don't like to swear, I kind of understand that. But why? I don't understand it. I mean, I understand it from a cultural perspective because we've made swearing something bad. But they're just words and they're not even directed to people directly. I just want to fight you, lady. Wait, you're not... Can I not talk to you? Okay, I can't talk to you when I'm down in the bog. Okay, that that's a thing. Oh, good song. I almost missed this good song. What is it called again? It is... A Fleeting Dream. Combines Monopoly with RPG elements and generic JRPG. Sorry, fuck no. No, I'm not doing a 20-hour Monopoly game. No. Don't you get stuck if you run? That is a possibility that I had never considered. Let's try that one out. You definitely... Oh, that's very true. Okay, so now I got stuck twice in a row without running. Let's call that a fluke. Yeah, no, this is definitely much better now that I'm not running everywhere. Did you play Borderlands? I played like 2 hours of the first Borderlands and then again just kind of got bored. But that's mostly because I suck at first-person shooters, and I know Borderlands is more an RPG than a first-person shooter. But the way you like interface with the game is still through a gun from first person, and I'm not good at that. Ironically enough, if you give me a bow and arrow in a fantasy RPG, I love that shit. If you give me a gun in a first-person shooter RPG, I still suck. I don't know what it is about bows. I do know what it is about bows. The thing with bows is one arrow does so much damage compared to generally one bullet. And you take a lot more time to aim. I'm also not very bad with a sniper. But you can't play most games with only a sniper. I actually like Sniper Elite a lot because of that. Because if you play the game correctly, you pretty much only use your sniper. And that's good. That's really good. Since you're also on an emulator, you don't need to run, just walk. I mean, but if I run and speed it up, it's even quicker. You need to buy Borderlands 2 DLC. I mean, if I need to buy Borderlands 2, the DLC, I need to first finish Borderlands 1. I think I even have Borderlands 2. I think I have Borderlands 1 and 2, both on Steam. You see, this is how quickly I'll walk. I mean, the rain does slow you down, admittedly. You don't fight me yet, right? It's not nighttime, yeah. You play Borderlands with only melee weapons. That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. I'd probably, die a lot, but that sounds like a lot of fun. Would you count Elder Scrolls games as being action RPGs? I would, personally. And in that case, I've played a little bit of Morrowind, but Morrowind just, kind of not that good. I figured out, by the way, I hated Morrowind before. I said the hitboxes in Morrowind were bad. It's something else. It's not the hitboxes, but in Morrowind you can hit, land a hit, and then it still does a roll deciding if you actually hit. Very much based on how you would decide if you hit a roll in D&D. Morrowind does that in a video game context, and that is very much how RPGs used to do it more. These days, that's not that common of a practice anymore. There's mods to remove that, and I think with that, it might actually be still a pretty good game. Oblivion is amazing. Skyrim is kind of subpar. Skyrim is good, not amazing. Oblivion, if Oblivion had the graphical style and graphics of Skyrim, which are also fairly dated by 2020 standards, I know, I probably never stopped playing it, to be honest. Elder Scrolls are action RPGs. In that case, I've played like an hour of Morrowind, a lot of hours of Oblivion, and way too many hours of Skyrim. Mega Man, Battle Network, Star Force. Battle Network is the one. Let me check. I think Battle Network I've played. Mega Man Battle Network. There's 7 of them? Yeah, I've played that one. I like Mega Man Battle Network. I do. Once again, a game I've never completed. I've a little bit more time in that game for the GBA anyway. I don't know about the other 7. I'm assuming that they go at least until like early 3DS. If the first one is on GBA and there's 7 of them? How is there 7 of them? Maybe Borderlands 2 is stream? Look, I'm not promising anything. Maybe someday, but I don't know. Don't know if that's a game that I would... Oh, I'm fucked. That I would necessarily want to stream for my first playthrough. So, okay, I'm dead. Yeah, no, I also have like other people that say like, yeah, but I'll play with you first time. I don't know. I've got a lot of people that said that by now. I probably will just not end up playing it, to be honest. Even though I know it's a very well-regarded game. Also, the grinding on that route is just not doing things very well for me. And I'm now at a level where I think random can take care of herself. So let's go do that. I think we'll get to Jinx and then go back to Melene's gym. What we really need so we can have vlog is Plants vs Zombies of Bobsled Bonanza. I've already finished that. I've finished the recording for that. I finished the recording for all the minigames actually. Except one. I still need to record one minigame, I think. But generally I'm done with the minigames. Some of them, I had a bit of issue with some of them, definitely. But most of them were fun. Also, Random died. So Random definitely can't hold her own against Wild Pokemon yet. Because fuck baby Pokemon! I don't like Bobsled Bonanza, really. It's a bad minigame, alright? I know that I didn't play it perfectly either, but it's also just a not well designed minigame. If you get fucked with your first 2 spawns, well, you're just fucked. You can't do much against that. And that should never be the case in a game that way. I mean, in a game like The Binding of Isaac, for instance, sure, the whole thing there is randomization and replayability, and every run is different. So some runs are going to start out in a way that you literally just cannot win. That's kind of something you accept when you open that game. With Plants vs Zombies or any tower defense game, you shouldn't be able to get fucked with RNG that way. And at least it's a minigame. It's not the default game mode that does that to you, which is fine. Because of that, kind of, I guess. Let's leave with Dominic here, because Dominic is going to need some experience as well for the gym after this one. I played the game too much, so I learned just to plant 2 sunflowers and start saving up for attackers. Yeah, but the thing is, there's 4 fucking flags in that minigame, right? So if you just place 2 sunflowers, you don't have enough sun, like 5 minutes down the lane. And you just keep planting things. Because the thing with Bobsled Bonanza is that you can't place down offensive plants. You need to blow up plants or use jalapenos and spikeweeds. Those are the 2 things you mainly need to use, especially in the early game, because you want to get rid of as much of the ice as possible. So you can't just place pea shooters in every single lane and just call it a day, because those just won't do it. So it's a very difficult thing, and it wouldn't be that bad if the first, like, if everything up to the first huge wave of zombie flag was pre-programmed and always was the same, or at least like one of a set of things which were designed to be like lead you into the playing, that would be a lot better. I have not played Honeypop 2. I have not played the first one either. This is gonna take a while. Why am I doing this again? Because the alternative is a very high level Pokemon trainer dudes. Yeah, I'm gonna go back actually. Just no, fuck that. I'm subpar here. There you go. And I'm running away. I'm gonna do the trainers again because why not? Devil May Cry and Bayonetta? Nope. Nope. Is Bayonetta really an action RPG? I feel like Bayonetta is more of a beat 'em up. Right? Which also is an action RPG in a sense, I suppose. It's not as much as a beat 'em up as Dynasty Warriors or anything like that. But I feel like that it's a very beat 'em up kind of game. More so than action RPG. But there is a lot of like grey area between those two genres, I'll give you that. Talking about beat 'em up games, and one that doesn't exist anymore, but I still have on my PlayStation 3. The Legend of Korra video game. Actually a fun game. I don't understand why it got taken off the Steam store and the PlayStation Network store. It's probably something to do with licensing between Nickelodeon and the developers or something. But that was a fun game. Same developers as Bayonetta, I believe. Or in the Blind Forest? Are we just talking about games now, or are we still talking about action RPGs? Because is that an action RPG? Is it? I don't know. I've not played it. I've played Titan Souls, which is not an action RPG. It is an action RPG, actually. Never mind. Now, is it an RPG? Because you don't really have RPG elements. It's just... It's 2D Dark Souls, but it's less RPG than Dark Souls. Wow. Which makes it more Dark Souls than Dark Souls, because that's the whole thing about Dark Souls. Dark Souls is not an action game. Dark Souls is a puzzle game. In my opinion. That's how I look at Dark Souls and Souls-like game. It's an action puzzle game. And I know, at the end of the day, every like AI boss fight you do is just pattern recognition and exploiting the patterns. But in Dark Souls, that's the way the game is designed. So I'm calling to Xanakin. We're playing this full volume. Fuck you guys. Sorry for like making your ears bleed. I love this song. I mean, okay, but that was funny for a couple of seconds. I want to continue talking now. I disagree that Souls-likes definitely have to be action RPGs, because I think Titan Souls is a very good example of why they don't have to be. Because you'd have no RPG elements in that game. You don't get more powerful necessarily. You just beat more difficult bosses. The only reason you're able to defeat the more difficult bosses further down the line is because you got more skill. Not because you got any experience or any level ups or have even better weapons. That's the thing with why I say it's less of an RPG than Dark Souls. And Dark Souls, at least you can like get other weapons and shit. You don't even get that in Titan Souls. Titan Souls is like the pure distilled version of what Dark Souls is, and that it's just pattern recognition and getting good at that shit. So, while I'd say most Souls-likes do fall to some extent in the action RPG genre, I don't think it's necessarily always the case. And I do think that we should, for one, I don't like it when we name a genre after a game. That's just something that's weird in my brain, I know. But I don't like the names roguelike or roguelite, whatever the fuck the difference between those two is. And I also don't like Souls-likes. Souls-likes, in my opinion, should be action puzzle games. I know a lot of people won't agree with that, and we're not going to use that name, but they should be action puzzle games. Or at least, like, call them boss arena games or something like that. I don't fucking know. But I don't like it when names of a genre are based on a game. Because I think it's just, in certain ways, I think it's limiting. And then when a new game in that genre does, like, reach higher heights, it's still, like, kind of bound down by what the original game was. And I think if we just give it a proper name, that wouldn't be an issue. Like, every Souls-like ever is going to be compared to Dark Souls at this point. That being said, not every roguelite ever is going to be compared to Rogue, because Rogue was literally, like, squiggles on the screen. Anyway, I've been rambling for a bit. What did I miss in chat? Why did I have a battle, why battle them not separately? I thought I'd battled them already, which I did, but I lost. I kind of forgot about that. That's my bad. Souls-like is a great description. So yeah, switching. Souls-like is only a great description if you know what Dark Souls is. And of course, that also goes for action RPG, right? You need to know what an RPG is, but that's just a role-playing game. Souls-like doesn't describe anything about what it is. It just says it's like this other game. It's not like, it doesn't describe itself. So there needs to be... I think MOBA is also a bad game, but at least it's not Dota-like, right? That's very loud. That's very, very loud. Let's knock you down a little bit. Switching them to action puzzle games is more fitting. People won't adopt that. I think action puzzle game is a very bad name, to be clear. I don't think you should call them action puzzle games. I just think you shouldn't call them Souls-like. At this point, nobody's going to switch, right? From Souls-like to whatever name we pick collectively. Souls-like is just the name of the genre, and I'm kind of fine with that. Same with roguelike. Okay, fine. That's just the name of the genre. I'm kind of fine with it. Also because it's very difficult to come up with a name for the genre which doesn't, like, become a page long, because it's a very specific kind of game. But I also think that somebody should just, like, sit down, and gaming journalists should just all come together and start calling them one thing, and eventually people will follow. I know that's not going to happen, but in my ideal world, that would happen. Super Mario 64 is a great spiral game. That does not work. Yeah, exactly. But just because we're not used to calling 3D platformers. I mean, it was a very long time. Very long time. There was a time where platformers weren't, like, the name genre for platformers didn't exist. Those were called adventure games. And adventure games are something significantly different these days. But we didn't all start calling them Mario-like. Or Sonic-like. Even though Mario was definitely, like, the first one. As a matter of fact, we don't call all games Pong-likes. So, I don't know. It also gives more importance to certain games than I think they might actually deserve. That might be a part of it as well. Okay, reference point. LoL is a MOBA or Dota-like. Which is the easiest to adopt? Prince of Persia platformer or adventure game? Definitely, I'd call it an adventure game because the same reason I call Assassin's Creed not a platformer. The platforming in those games, Prince of Persia less so, but still is fairly automatic. You don't really need to like... Well, maybe Prince of Persia is like a little bit more on edge. I haven't played much of Prince of Persia, but I think the important distinction between a adventure game, and Assassin's Creed has become an RPG, by the way. It's not even an adventure game anymore. And a platformer, in that sense, is that in a platformer, you have to press the jump button. In Assassin's Creed, you do not require to press the jump button, which is stupid. I mean, there is a jump button, but half the time you don't need it. Prince of Persia is less of a big offender of that in my memory, but I haven't played much of it, and it's been a fucking while because Prince of Persia just kind of turned into Assassin's Creed at some point. After they realized Assassin's Creed was doing way better sales-wise. But yeah, no, definitely, I'd say League of Legends is a MOBA. Even, I mean, MOBA is multiplayer online battle arena. That's still a very like generic and stupid name, but at least it's a genre name we can agree on. Dota-like, I don't like it. Some people still use Dota-like, and I want to murder those people. So that's my opinions on why people are stupid. What level is fucking Smoochum at this point? 27. Let's keep going. 3 more levels and then we can take on the fucking gym finally. I was expecting to do 2 gyms today. Doesn't seem like we'll be able to. Then again, we might be able to, because the moment we take out Meleen, we can just go straight into the next gym, I think. We are way, like, longer into the stream than yesterday. Yeah, I think the longest stream I've done since I've, like, started streaming again was 2 hours and 15 minutes. We might make that today as well. Let's see... Definitely Powder Snow is going because Ice Shard is priority and also physical. Last point to why are people stupid lists. That list is never going to be finished. That list is getting longer and longer and longer until I'm like 150 years old and die, and then it's just a very long list and we can publish it. And my children, which I won't have because I hate kids, will be fucking rich. Rich. Yeah, there's a lot of games, especially like in the late 90s, early 2000s, which were trying to rip up Pokemon. We just call those JRPGs. Even though Pokemon, if anything, Pokemon probably should have its own genre name, right? Because it's so different from what JRPGs are in the... Well, is it really? Because a lot of JRPGs also allow you to make a party. But usually like a party of 4 or so out of like 6 to 8 options. Here we have a party of 6 out of like 500 options. It's just a much more in-depth version of what we know as a JRPG. So actually, and you catch the team members, that is also a very big difference, I'd say. But let's say that's not big enough of a difference to give it a different genre name. So, yeah, no, I'm kind of on board with just calling them JRPGs. I didn't say I won't have children because I'll be too rich. I said I won't have any children because I hate children, but if I do, and they publish my list of why people are stupid as a book, they are going to be rich. I never said I was going to be rich. As a matter of fact, I very much doubt it. The fuck is this song? Oh, Epilogue. Yeah, that's probably why I don't know it. I've heard all the songs of Final Fantasy X like a lot. Epilogue, not that much, because why would I? Monster catching is the official term. I mean, monster catching game, I can get on board with that as well. I can accept it. It's it's slightly different enough to the point where it's acceptable to have its own genre name, in my opinion. Still, I think they're just like very expansive and in-depth JRPGs. That's what I think. But monster catching game, honestly, kind of fine with it. Vlogger will be rich in wisdom. I don't have any wisdom teeth, so I guess I won't be rich in wisdom because I don't have them. That's a bad joke. Also very overused and just badly delivered, and everything about it was just bad. You outspat me, but you also have pursuit, so you're gonna kill me either way. No, because I have eye shot. Fuck you. A whole new world than the world end with you. Let's scratch the DS to oblivion. I didn't like the world ends with you. I didn't get deep into the narrative at all, but my god is the gameplay like just clunky as fuck. I know it has like a 90% of Metacritic or something like that. It's apparently the greatest game of all time on Nintendo DS. I think the controls are fucking horrible. You missed a stream when it was still Ice Nuzlocke. There were so many ice puns again. Oh man, there were. And a stream after that as well. I'm liking the Quagsires, by the way. For Dominic, the Weasels are okay as well. This is a good grinding spot. Case 3, the cutscene that made the castle change was pretty cool. Are we talking about Frozen again? Or am I missing a cutscene in my mind? I've never played Kid Icarus Uprising, but I can imagine that it's not very good because it relies on like motion controls on the 3DS as well, right? I seem to remember something like that. And my experience with that is Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and I'm not very happy with that. I'm talking about the castle where we go to wake up Van. Oh yeah, the Castle Oblivion, which is the Land of Departure. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, definitely. That's a beautiful cutscene. Absolutely. I liked the cutscene when it turned into Castle Oblivion in the epilogue of Birth by Sleep. But holy crap, the cutscene for level 29, we're almost there. The cutscene in Kingdom Hearts 3 where it turns back into the Land of Departure, that's a great cutscene. It's absolutely... It's done very well. Probably one of my favourite parts of the game. I'm very sad that we didn't get to explore it as a world other than like one hallway with the save points. So I'm definitely going to end the stream after defeating Maylene because I'm also tired. I have a bit of a headache. I've had a headache all day long, and I recorded some Pokemon 3 years and it was like kind of gone, and now we're like an hour and a half into the stream and it's slowly coming back. So I'm going to keep going until we beat Maylene, and then I'm going to try to stream at least one time before Remount releases next week. I can't promise that I can. But I'll try to at least get Crash Awake done as well, because we're ready for that. And maybe like get some progress done on grinding towards the 6th gym as well. And then obviously in between that we're going to do the entirety of the Remind DLC, which I don't know how long that's going to take. I imagine it's not going to take too long, because originally I was going to stream the entirety of Kingdom Hearts 3 with the DLC installed. Where you have a couple of new cutscenes. I'm not going to do that because that would just take fucking forever. Because Kingdom Hearts 3 is a long game, especially if you include all the cutscenes. The cutscenes alone are like long, and every world is like 3 hours, so I very much preferred having the second visit to each world in Kingdom Hearts 2, but I understand why they didn't do it in 3. Yeah, Scarlet Kylum, that looks like it's explorable now, and that... I was very upset that you couldn't explore it like at all in the main game. So, and it looks like to be part of the epilogue you're going to be playing, because Donald and Goofy aren't in there with the trailer with you. So that's going to be exciting. I'm most excited to see if we're actually going to get data fights for all of the organization members again, because it looks like we might, and I hope that we will. But somewhere I'm very afraid that it's only going to be like a couple of fights that are going to be not even that difficult. I really want very difficult versions of every organization member individually. I don't want this, let's group 3 of them together and call it a fight. Because while that was fun and made sense in the Keyblade Graveyard Keyblade War context, I just want to have them as 13 separate bosses. And I think that might be the case. And if that's the case, it's probably going to take a while to defeat them all, because Kingdom Hearts 2 data fights were... some of them were fairly difficult. Hello Pokesaurus, you are a little bit on the late side because we are... well, we're not winding down quite yet. We are still doing some grinding for Malane's gym, and then when we actually defeat the gym, I'm probably going to end the stream. But hey, you're going to be here for the last like 20 minutes of it, which is fun. Thank you. You have fun with your recording session. Oh, Pokesaurus isn't even isn't even going to be able to stay because he's at work. Well, I was going to say have fun at work. I don't know if you have fun at work. Good luck with work. Depends on how much you like your job, really. So that doesn't leave a lot of people. I mean, or you can watch this at work, which also fine as long as your boss doesn't kill you. I'm not saying that if you're at work you definitely shouldn't be watching this, but I'm just saying that I expect if you're at work that you're not able to watch this, and that's okay. I understand that. Again, nobody ever had like an obligation to watch any of my stuff. Let's put that first, because that is a very like douchey and arrogant thing to assume that anybody ever would like have an obligation to watch anything of yours. There are people out there that feel that way, that like get annoyed when people don't watch all of their stuff, or like when they do a let's play, for instance. I'm not saying that I know any let's players like personally or whatever that have this, but just like the way people feel and talk and like the decisions they make around the channel. When the first episode does very well and then the views go down, that's kind of what like series formats do. If you do series that last more than 5 episodes, prepare to have the views tank generally. That's just what they do. So Pokemon through the years, and even Plants vs Zombies to some extent on my channel, have managed to go quite a number of episodes so far without tanking. That being said, Pokemon through the years, not that far in yet. Can still tank. Hopefully it won't, because it's going to be a very long series. How close are you to evolving random? Because I really am kind of like getting tired of you. Okay, literally like 1 or 2 battles. I'm going to do those with Yuki in that case. Probably should just do them with random and it would only be 1 battle. Yuki just isn't that strong as well. Last grinding battle of the day. And then we have a Jinx, and we probably can take care of the upcoming gym. Lucario is still going to be an issue, don't get me wrong. Lucario is just a bitch. Do you learn Psychic? You don't learn Psychic. I was kind of hoping you'd learn Psychic. Next up to do grinding on, I guess, would be subpar. Because the steel gym is coming up at some point in the future as well. I want to name the city but keep forgetting. Which city are we talking about? And the Hymn of the Faith. There's like 10 versions of this song. And they're all like ever so slightly different for every single Aeon in the game. And then there's also the Ronto version. And then there's the collective version used to calm sin. They're all different versions of the hymn. I don't know if a lot of people realize that, but there's a lot of hymns of the faith. They're also very short. It's a little bit sad, because I really like the Hymn of the Faith. It's probably more so my favorite song out of the game than To Xanakon. I don't know, it's actually a very close one. It might be. It might just be. I don't know. But what I wanted to say was that city where you first go there, Fatal Xehanort clones. Yeah, that is Kyla at Kylam. In the pre-production, it was called Cable Town. And this is gonna get me copyright strike into hell. So let's not have this song play. It's also linked to the town from the Daybreak town from Kingdom Hearts Union Cross and Kingdom Hearts Chi or Key or whatever the fuck version of it you like. It's also linked to that, which makes a lot of sense because it just makes sense. What doesn't make a lot of sense to me is that it does not seem to be linked to the Land of Departure in any kind of way, because they are both worlds. Well, maybe it's the Land of Departure before it became the Land of Departure. That could still be, because you go there by time travel. So, and yeah, I don't like time travel either. How about we play it simple and clean? Yeah, no, that's also going to get me copyright claimed into hell, so I'm not going to do that. And then, yeah. Man, I just call it the X-Blade. I know it's not right. Sometimes I call it the Chi Blade. Or the Kai Blade. The Kai Blade is probably the best way to refer to it as. And it's cleverly found to use the Greek letter Chi to make a key blade, right? But it also just fucks up communication between fans so badly. It just... I don't know. Nomura just needs to stop using whatever drug he is on. I'm very Stockholmed. Anything that man writes, I will just... I'll take it in. And I'll hate it, but I'll also love it. Ever since, like, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, I've been of the opinion that Nomura is, like, at this point just surrounded by yes men. And that reflects in the quality of his writing. But I'm also kind of into it, which is weird. Keyblade, X-Blade, Chi Blade, that's all that's left of the Key or the Blade Blade. It wouldn't surprise me if in Kingdom Hearts 4 there is a Key at this point. It wouldn't be a big surprise anyway. I'd be a little surprised that he would go there. But the man has invented the like most wacky-ass time travel ever. People complain about the time travel in Endgame. They need to play fucking Kingdom Hearts. It's stupid. Anyway, gym time. Gym time indeed. We should be able to take care of her now, because definitely we outspeed the Metatoid now. So one ominous wind should be able to take care of you. Young Xehanort is back and he wants the Ultimate Blade. Look, I'm very interested to see what the interaction is between Young Xehanort and the Master of Masters. Because we know, just by implication, that there had to be some amount of like indoctrination there, right? There was always the option that it was just Lucio doing that, but I kind of figured that there was like some communication there between him and the Master of Masters. I'm very interested to see how like deep their communication and relationship goes, and what exactly they're talking about in that trailer and like the full cutscene there, because that does seem to be very interesting. Okay. Here we go. Confusion. Oh my fucking god! But Luxor is already half Xehanort at the moment. That's not Luxor, that's Zigbar in Dream Drop Distance. Yeah, that was a very obvious thing, like zooming in on his eye like that. But that also is very interesting, because if you then go back to Birth by Sleep, you see Braig being introduced with blue eyes. But then at the end of the game, when you fight him as Aqua, he has yellow eyes. So at that point, he has a part of Xehanort's heart within him. But then going back, you realize that that Braig dude with the blue eyes was already a Lucio. See, I mean, none of this was prepared. None of this was prepared at all. Nomura he didn't prepare this. But I have a lot of respect for somebody who is this good at retconning. Because there's nobody quite this good at retconning. Like, at all. Nomura is the master of writing believable and sensible retcons, other than the time travel thing. But that's just everything. Everybody at some point writes themselves into a corner, and the issue resolves itself with time travel. And as long as they don't go back to it after like this Xehanort saga is finished, I'm fine with it. The same with Endgame, right? Grass whistle, maybe. The same with Endgame, right? I don't mind them having used time travel in Endgame as long as they don't use it again for like the next 10 years. Why do you only remember Vaxen? Vaxen doesn't even show up in like a main Kingdom, quote-unquote main Kingdom Hearts game until 3, and even then, well, probably because he has a fairly big role in Kingdom Hearts 3. But he only shows up in like Days, which nobody should ever play because it's a bad game. And he doesn't really show up in the cutscenes for Days either. And then he shows up in Chain of Memories, but mostly the Riku side. And a lot of people probably won't experience the Riku side because you need to get through the Sora side, which is a pain. Unless you use Sonic Blade on everything. Which, huge tip for you there. If you're still playing Chain of Memories, both versions, more so I think the Chain of Memories, Sonic Blade is broken. If a boss doesn't fly, I mean if a boss flies, you can't use it. But if a boss doesn't fly, it gets absolutely annihilated by Sonic Blade. So if you just make your deck so that you can use Sonic Blade and then reload and use Sonic Blade again, it's not that hard to construct a deck around that. As a matter of fact, I've got a Let's Play on my channel of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Like halfway through that Let's Play on the Sora side, I construct my deck that way, and I never have an issue with any boss ever again until like Marluxia. Because Marluxia's second form flies. So yeah, we're not going to beat this this gym fight today. It's a very difficult fight. I'm going to speed through this because I'm going to die anyway. Unless I get a crit here. No, I didn't. Can Snowball survive one ice Metal Claw? Honestly, might be able to. Force Ball, nope. Yeah, you probably shouldn't fight Maleficent at level 3. Maleficent is a bit of a bitch in critical mode. The first bosses for Terra and Van aren't that bad in critical mode. Van is definitely the easiest. The first boss for Terra is... Aren't they the same boss? Oh no, the first boss for Terra is the spinning wheel. The first boss for Van is the haunted tree. That one is actually a little tricky. The first boss for Terra is very easy in critical mode. The first boss for Aqua is actually hell. It's actually hell. It's really difficult. Maleficent is way too difficult for being a first boss. That being said, I'm gonna call it here for today. Everything we did today was almost 2 hours of grinding. Which makes me a little bit sad. But I'm going to save state. Just so that I have this. And I guess next time we're doing both gyms. Once I can power through this gym, this is the only difficult gym in the game. The only thing that's going to be an issue after this is the Elite 4 member that uses fire types. But by that time I'll probably be so powerful that it doesn't matter anyway. Because I'll have Earthquake, pretty much. This is the most difficult gym. This is probably the most difficult fight in the game, I would imagine. We're going to do that next time though. I'm going to call it here for today. It's been a good time, but I just kind of like don't feel like it anymore. I don't want to grind anymore, and even if we start grinding more, we don't have enough time in the stream left, and my voice hurts a little bit from talking like for 3 hours today because I recorded an hour of 30 years, 2 hour stream, and I do have a headache, and I already feel like a little bit like not that well. So we're gonna end it here. That being said, there will be a new Showdown scoreboard going live in 20 minutes. Where I don't know what episode that is. I'm like a couple episodes ahead on that as well. So, but there will be a new one coming up. See you guys probably like early next week. If not, see you guys when Remind releases and we do that. And we're going to talk a lot, and I mean a lot, about Kingdom Hearts. I might just rare candy like next stream. I might do that, but not now. I'm kind of done now. So, bye.